This is the fourth meeting between the Kaduna elders and Governor Uba Sani since he assumed office on May 29, 2023. The forum, which is a non-partisan and non-religious platform, is co-chaired by the former military governor of Rivers State, General Zamani Lekot, retired, and the former head of service in Kaduna State, Abubakar Mustafa. Co-chairman of the Elders Forum congratulates Governor Sani on his victory at the Supreme Court and commends him on his numerous people-oriented programs in the past 7 months.
By choosing to start your administration from the rural areas, where the bulk of the population lives, you have started a long journey on the right foot.
This government requires support for peace to prevail. And once there's no peace, you hardly have development.
Kaduna for many years has witnessed several ethno-religious conflicts, but the elders are happy with the steps taken so far by the present administration to right the wrongs of the past.
I've been working on fighting insecurity. Thank you.
For Governor Sani, whose administration inherited the multifaceted security challenges as well as other socio-economic problems in Kaduna, addressing the challenges require a collaborative approach, just as he rails out measures taken to tackle the menace of banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism in the state.
They have agreed to set up 2 forward operating bases of the military in Kaduna State.
Regular meetings and interactions like this, according to the governor, remain the main thrust of his administration towards deepening citizens' engagement and participatory governance in an effort to bring about the needed socio-economic development in the state.
Welcome back. Well, yes, indeed, all eyes are on governors now to ensure that they do what they should or what they were elected to do to ensure that the people in the states are all, at least to a large extent, coping comfortably too with the economic challenges. This morning, we're joined by His Excellency Uba Sani, Governor of Kaduna State. Good morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, we've seen that report about security, but we also have read you several times where you have said, well, part of the challenges of one key solution to insecurity is good governance. Yeah. What are you doing about that in your state?
Yeah, thank you very much again. Why I kept saying that since I was elected is because we look at the situation of the country generally. From day one, a lot of people wanted to confuse the issue of insurgents fight in the northeast with the banditry and kidnappings in the northwest. And I believe they are not really the same. Like I said, the northwest crisis that has to do with banditry and kidnappings is economic problem. When you look at the situation critically, you will agree with me that most of those bandits always kidnap, some people and ask for ransom, and whenever they are given money, they will release the victims. In many cases, in some cases, when there is a delay, they end up taking the lives of those victims. So when you look at the situation and also look at the problem of poverty, unemployment, hopelessness, and lack of education, particularly in northwestern part of Nigeria. That is the reason why a lot of these incidents happen in northwest now, because of this crisis we're facing. The last time I checked, and you can confirm from the SDG's report, the recent one, you will agree with me that about 85 to 90% of the people that lives in the northwestern part of Nigeria are living below the poverty line. And of course, if you look at the statistics of the out-of-school children in Nigeria, you can see that from the statistics and data available, a lot of them are from the northwestern part of Nigeria. So that was the reason why I kept calling for good governance, because people kept talking about using the kinetic or non-kinetic approach to this crisis of insecurity. And I kept saying, Habu really analyzed what we mean by a non-kinetic approach. It's not only about talking with the bandits, paying ransom to them, asking them to surrender their weapons. Most of these efforts were made some years by past governors, and it didn't yield any result. Recently, a lot of governors and even some senior government officials are asking for looking at how do we really bring those criminals and pardon them if they can surrender. And I feel, look, that is only one aspect of non-kinetic, which for me is not even the most important one. The most important one is looking at the condition of the people generally. Okay. The poverty, unemployment, hopelessness, that's it.
So maybe I should then ask you, what have you done to improve the economic situation of Kaduna State indigents?
Yeah, in Kaduna State, I think what we did when I came in, we look at the statistics, like I said, and I realized that in the first 2 months, I signed an executive order. People thought that was just a joke, but it's really helping us right now. Because since I signed the executive order to bring about 2.5 million underserved, underprivileged, poor people back to financial services sector, today we have about 1.5 million who have been brought back to financial services sector, and we have been coming up with some measures of interventions, supporting the less privileged, because right now they are financially included. We are supporting them. We have an agency called Kadeda. And the Kadeda is looking at those that have small businesses and also some households that are poor. So what are we doing? Kaduna State government have now been bringing them, supporting them. We've not been making so much noise about that. And again, we have taken development to our rural areas. That is the reason why when I came in, I made it clear that our major agenda is the revitalization of our rural economies. So if we look at what we've done, we have been working very, very well toward bringing or taking economic prosperity to the rural areas, where a lot of them were completely abandoned many, many years by successive governments in Kaduna State. So that has really helped us. And of course, we also try to tackle the problem of insecurity by bringing virtually all the stakeholders to the table. Now, what are we doing? We have tried as much as possible to look at how we can bring both traditional rulers, religious leaders, as well as even the major stakeholders in Kaduna State to the table to look at how do we sit down. And they have been helping us with a lot of support, wisdom, and the inputs we really consider most of their inputs. That's the reason why in Kaduna State today, you can see that we're having peace to some extent, and because of our effort, a lot of other governments have come in to support Kaduna State.